Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mitchell Miller, and hey, today's video I want to talk about finding your ideal romantic partner and defining what you want. So as you can see, I've got some bullets in front of me, and I want to make sure I cover each one because this is a really important topic. This is one of those, I'm 29 years old right now, and unfortunately, this is the time where I'm like just now trying to define what it is that I'm looking for, and I'm hoping this video can teach you kind of about why you should be doing this at all stages of your life, okay? This is going to save you a lot of heartbreak. This is going to save you a lot of problems. I do want to say that when it comes time to defining like what you want as a partner, what do they look like, what kind of qualities do they have, and what kind of features do they have, and other stuff like that, this is going to change over time. So the more people you're with, you're going to start noticing what you like and what you don't like. And then as you get older and the more experience you have, you're going to start figuring out what works for you and what doesn't, because you're going to understand what kind of person you are. Now, I do want to say that if you are so for me, who has a pretty extensive dating history, I know what I like and what I don't like, all right? But I'm going to cover some things about that'll make sense later on down the video. But if you're someone that does not have a big dating experience, I'm going to recommend that you go out and you learn how attraction works between men and women, and then you start going out and dating, okay? You want to date more people, you want to hook up with more people. Dating doesn't have to be being in a relationship or hooking up. Dating is simply going out, hanging out, having fun, and getting to know the other person. The relationship and like sex comes over time naturally if you two get along, okay? So let's go ahead. Why defining your ideal partner matters, all right? So let's talk about that. So some of the partners that I've dated with in the past, I have admittedly, I started talking to them, we started hanging out, and that was the only girl at the time that I was talking to, and unfortunately things between us kind of just clicked and I went with it. And in these relationships that I've done that, you don't really know who a person is until the first, I think, 90 days. And then if it gets to that 6-month mark where that emotional bond forms, that's when you really find out who a person is, okay? And, oh man, that has caused me some issues. Let me tell you, the incompatibility of a long-term relationship, you're not really going to find that out until later down the road if you don't have the experience. And so if you're someone that goes and just dates or gets in a relationship with the first person that you start talking to, chances are that's because you have a very scarcity mindset. You're not talking to other guys or girls, and they kind of meet what you want. They make you feel good, and because that limerence is there, limerence is in the first 6 months when you're with somebody and you start feeling really good. That's what limerence is. A lot of people that are afraid of like long-term commitments, they will chase this feeling and then end up dumping their partner once that feeling like fades away. And then people that don't really understand what love is, that when that wears off, because it will, they're going to be like, hey, you're not the same person that you used to be, but they don't know the difference between that, okay? So why defining your ideal partner matters is because if you're just willing to jump into a relationship, like I've told you that I've done in the past, you're just going to take whatever comes your way. You're just going to take whatever likes you and that you kind of like back. You're not going to take the time to get to know them. You're going to start ignoring red flags. You're going to justify these red flags. Look, I've done this, man, and it's fucked me every single time. But on the bright side, you should always thank the person that you're with, because I'm sure the person you're with, they're great people, and I'm sure if you were with them for a long time, you guys had enjoyable moments. It's just the compatibility and the relationship dynamics between you two just didn't work out. But that is a lesson that you get to learn each and every person that you date on what you want in life and then what you don't want in life. And like I said, the more experience you have with men or with women, the easier this is going to be, okay? So learning what you want and what you don't want. So like I said, the more people that you start interacting with and hanging out with and dating and hooking up with, you're going to start seeing little aspects of their personalities come out, and that's either going to rub you the wrong way or you're going to really enjoy it. So someone like me, I am someone that values communication in a relationship. In fact, any healthy individual needs to be able to communicate in a relationship. I'm somebody that I have no problem telling you what's on my mind. If you fucking did something and I didn't like that, you're going to know about it. And if you keep doing it and keep disrespecting me, we're going to have a problem. Because I don't want to take that, right? Or I'm not going to put up with that. Or I'm going to make an issue out of it, okay? Because in the past I have unfortunately put up with that because my love for this person outweighed what my gut feeling was telling me. And that's why we want to get down to learning what you want and don't want. So when it comes to communication, I've been with people in the past that literally refused. Like they were able to, so they refused to communicate, meaning that if there was a fight between us, instead of engaging in it like a normal couple and handling it and solving it so we can grow together, they would shut down, they would get defensive, it would just come into an argument where nothing got solved, and that is an inability on either one or both parties to come up with a solution to this problem and move on from that. So I've had people that these types of people that I've been with, they shut down in conflicts, they'll get passive aggressive. They will not, so if you did something they didn't like, they won't tell you about it. And they'll just expect you to read their mind. But that's not how things work, right? These types of people are very good at hiding their emotions, at least the people I've been with. So you're never going to know. In fact, with these kinds of people that I've been with, I have always been the one that had to initiate the conversations if something between us wasn't going well. And that's really frustrating because a normal healthy woman, if you did something she doesn't like, she's going to bitch about it and you're going to know about it. That's healthy. That woman is upset. She loves you, so she's telling you, so she wants to fix it so you guys can grow together. That's normal in relationships. Women do that naturally as long as they're like healthy, like from a healthy relationship and they're doing good mentally. And so someone like me then, who values communicating, like I can sit here and hold conversations all day long. I can talk about my problems, I can discuss them, I can look at both parties, and I want to come down to a solution because if I'm with somebody that I genuinely care about, I want to know that we're on good terms, that our love's going to keep going up, and I'm not going to like walk on fucking eggshells because I don't know what's going on. These kinds of people, okay, they avoid feeling things, they avoid confronting issues, they will literally push their partners away. And this was unfortunately something they learned in childhood from their parents. And this is why it comes down, like, if you've never dated someone like this, if you do, you're going to find out how fucking, not how bad, it doesn't have to be bad. In fact, the people that I've been with, wonderful women. But it does chip at you, like it does chip away at you mentally. You're going to start thinking that you're the problem, even if you're not. So being with these kinds of people, you're always going to walk on eggshells. And that's why I think communication ultimately is going to be something that you're always going to want. But again, you're not going to know what you want, what you don't. Because you might be somebody that wants to be with a partner that's emotionally unavailable like these people. You might want somebody that's easygoing. And I can tell you now, no relationship's easy. Now things should be like easy for the most part, but you're gonna have challenges no matter what. That's just life. That's very normal. You have to be with somebody that's gonna help you get over this hurdle together and not push you away because they don't know how to communicate. Now remember, these people, they're choosing not to face their fears and tell you the problems, okay? Because they're scared that if they tell you, you're gonna blow up and they're gonna get left. They're scared to do that. So this is a choice on their part. And again, you're not going to find out who you want and don't want until you start dating more and more people, okay? Now, that right there, you typically won't find out who these kinds of people are until you get into a long-term relationship with them. So I can tell you from experience, expect to get your heart broken. These people will typically be the ones to leave you first. That's just kind of how it goes because they're scared of normal, healthy relationships because they're not used to that because their parents didn't teach them how to have that, okay? And so when it comes to learning what you want, I just gave you, for example, communication with me. Now, you can, like, I like women that are fit, that go to the gym, that work out. I like kind of on the skinnier side, just kind of what I've always been into. But I've been with women that were, like, I guess, healthy weight. I don't want to sit here and talk about weight. I feel like that's disrespectful. But I usually go for, like, women that are on the skinnier side. I make fun of them like they're sticks. So if you look at my history of girls, that literally makes sense. Okay, so then looks, you know, like what kind of hair color do you want them to have? What kind of body style do you want them to have? How much you want them to weigh? What do they do for fun? Do they drink? Do they smoke? Do they hang out? Do they do drug? I mean, do they hang out at places with friends, with family? Do they go do stuff? Do they hang out at home? All of these different qualities, you're going to want to find somebody that matches what you enjoy doing. So when I was in the bartending scene, I would want to be with somebody that enjoyed going out, enjoyed partying, so we could have fun together, because that's just the type of person I was back then. I'm 29 now and I'm in a wheelchair, so I can't be as adventurous as I used to be, but I've still traveled, I've still flown to different states. I can still go to amusement parks to do everything. So I'm going to want somebody at this age right now, I'm not going to want somebody that goes out and parties as much as I used to. I just don't care for that anymore, okay? I'm at the point now where I want somebody that's going to want to like build a life together and obviously go on dates and stuff, but I don't want that like typical younger party scene where then you got to worry about what the fuck they're doing when they're not around you, and that comes down to like different trust issues and if you can trust them or not, and that's not related to this video. That just depends on who the person is. So how do you come up with your criteria? That's simple, dude. Literally just take a sheet of paper and write down what you think you want right now. Just start writing everything down. And then when I was taught this, I was told out of everything you just wrote down, pick out the top 10 features that you want, and then the features that like yeah, I think if you want, because you know, like what you don't want, if you pick out the 10 features out of everything you wrote down that you do want, you're more than likely, you're never going to find a woman or a guy, you know, depending on who you are that watches this, that's going to meet all of those criteria. But there is a very good chance that you will meet somebody that does match most of those 10 little things, okay? And that's the kind of person that you're obviously going to want to be attracted to. And you might find yourself naturally becoming attracted to somebody like this. So attraction is genetic. Like, you don't have a choice if you find somebody attracted or not. You're just naturally going to say, hey, that person's kind of hot. I would date them, or I would go on a date with them. I would be in a relationship with them. That's how it works, okay? I think when it comes to who you find attractive, I heard that you're most attracted to people with like the same facial structures, but don't quote me on that because I haven't seen enough science that really proves that. Now, so right there when it comes to how to come up with your criteria, like I said, you just take a sheet of paper out and start writing down what you think you want at this point in time. As I said at the beginning of this video, the more people you've been with, typically the older you are, the easier this is going to be. If you're younger and you've never been with a lot of people before, this is going to be difficult. At that point, just pick out some stuff that you kind of want right now, and then you're going to see it's going to change over time, okay? Now, the role of patience and an abundant mindset. So remember how I said that I've jumped into relationships with women in the past that I really shouldn't have been in a relationship with? That's because at that time, I didn't have different girls that I was talking to. So when it comes down to that, if you're not in a position right now where you're talking to multiple different people, you're not dating different people, you're not figuring out what it is that you want, you're likely not going to be patient. And most people want to be in relationships. And so in this situation, if that's the only person that you have in your life right now, and you started hanging out with them and you stopped trying to meet other people, if that has a chance to progress, you're more than likely going to go down that route just so you have a girlfriend. And I can tell you from personal experience, that has never worked out for me in the long term. But as I said, this also is something to be thankful for, because when that relationship does end, that pain that you're going to go through is going to be the catalyst to really improving and leveling yourself up beyond. Like, you're going to outgrow that relationship, and then you may not want that person back, and you're going to want to move on to greener pastures, because you're going to know what you want this time around, at least so you think. Like I said, this can change over time. But if you're going to sit here and jump into a relationship with everybody that you meet that wants to be in a relationship with you, this is always going to happen to you. And this can be like if you're very anxious, okay? So if you're like a very anxious person, the first sign of love that comes your way, you can be like, fuck yeah, dog, I love you too. Let's start dating. So you got to really work on your attachment styles, and that comes down to just childhood trauma. More than likely, if that's how you are, you had to go and fight for your love as a child, or you might have had one parent leave, and you weren't with them all the time, okay? Now, the danger of settling and scarcity mindset, I just told you that. If you're just going to sit here and date or be in a relationship, I should say, with every single person that wants to be with you because that's the only option you have, you're more than likely you're going to run into an incompatibility issue down the road. Now, am I saying that's 100% going to happen? Absolutely not. You might find somebody that blows your socks off the entire time. They might reciprocate the love that you're giving them, and that's fucking awesome. But if you're someone like me that's jumped into relationships in the past where you gave love and they didn't give it back, that's going to be very hard on you because you're going to start thinking, am I doing something wrong? And there's a good chance that you're not. The other person just doesn't know how to meet your needs, even if you try to tell them. So that's why you want to be careful when it comes to jumping into relationships. You really want to vet out if this person is going to give you the attention that you want or the space that you want before you jump into a committed relationship, okay? I do want to say that when it comes time to doing that, if you are a guy, always, always, always let the woman bring up the relationship first. If you bring it up first, that's more of like the feminine role, and I've done this before. I've done this before. It's usually like that's where they might tell you like, oh, I don't want a relationship right now, or oh, I want some space, or oh, I'm not ready for this. They're just saying that I'm not ready for a relationship with you. The woman's got to be the one that decides this is what I want, okay? So, like I said, personal accountability and growth. If you get broken up with or you break up with somebody, typically if you get broken up with, that's what's going to be the driver to make you want to go out and be a better person. So unfortunately, if you don't know what it is that you want right now, as I said, this is going to change over time, and this is why. The more times you get your heart broken, the more you're going to figure out once you are able to reflect on that relationship over time, what worked, what didn't work, what you liked about them, what you didn't, because then you're going to, that bond that you have, that love that you see in that person, that's going to go away. You're not going to care for them or love them as much as you used to, and you're going to be able to see them for who they are instead of the person that you hoped they would be. And that's what's going to help you figure out, okay, this is who they were. I liked this about them, but I fucking hated this about them. So moving forward, I want somebody that, in my case, is able to communicate and wants to spend time together and doesn't want to push the relationship away. They want more time by themselves. So that's going to be the video right here about how to figure out who it is that you want to date. Hopefully this video helps you. Like I said, man, it took me until 29 before I really started thinking about this. And the sooner you do this, the better your life's going to be. And I'm just telling you that from experience. So go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, guys, if you want to see more videos. And like I said, if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below, man. And I'll answer them when I can. So talk to you guys later.